As you know, yesterday United led 3-0 with 20 minutes left. After the game, Eric Ten Hag was asked if there was a sense of embarrassment at how they'd got through.
No, I can't see that word, because at the end of the day it's about the achievement and the mistakes we make. We can't look away from it, but it's not an embarrassment, it's a huge achievement.
I think that's something we might talk about a little during the course of the morning, don't you? Not an embarrassment. I mean, Roy Keane disagrees. He said Coventry looked like the Premier League team. Manchester United looked like a championship side. I mean, to stick with Keane, he says, whenever I see this United team, I don't like what I see. Ali, he should be embarrassed, shouldn't he?
Well, I don't like the word, Jeff, and I'll tell you why. Because I think it's actually disrespectful to Coventry. Right. Should Manchester United be beating Coventry? Yes, of course they should, right? And particularly if you're 3-0 up with 19 minutes to go. But to use the word embarrassment, I just think it's a slap in the face to Coventry more than anything, who were absolutely magnificent yesterday, right? But it's a funny one. I understand where Roy's coming from. And should Manchester United win that semi-final? Yes, of course they should. Should they be 3-0 up and seen out with 19, 20 minutes to go? Yes. So in that respect, it's shocking. It's really, really poor. It is. But at the same time, Jeff napped it beforehand. I did the quarter-final game against Wolves, and Coventry were excellent. They've got goals in their team, Sims, Hadji, boys, that could play at that top level in terms of in the top flight. They were unlucky last year. I think they're beating in penalties by Luton. So they're a side that, can more than handle themselves. But from Manchester United's point of view, dear me, Jeff, that would have been unthinkable. I mean, and it was so close, as we know, with a disallowed goal to have been one of the greatest. It would have been one of the greatest FA Cup stories ever.
Does Eric Ten Hag now need to win the FA Cup to save his job? Let's get some reaction. Michael's a Manchester United fan. Michael, what did you make of what Eric Ten Hag had to say?
Morning, Jeff.
Morning, mate.
Morning, mate.
How you doing? All right. No, I just think it's just the fact of all the times, and we've seen it in the Premier League, we've seen it in Champions League, when Man United find a way of bottling it. You don't let the team in. Ten Hag's responsible in the sense of you're talking about, leaders. Where are your leaders on the pitch? There's only leaders on the pitch. Ten Hag made two of the worst decisions of substitutions yesterday. You don't take Garnacho off and Kevin Manu. They're your future. And as soon as he took them off, I thought, he's trying to shut up shop here. We know where this is going. And I said to my partner, Coventry are going to come back into this somehow. Man United will find a way of bottling it. And they did that.
They still got through, though. Michael, got a lot to get through, but appreciate a call. Thank you very much indeed. What about Jonathan, who's another Manchester United fan? Jonathan, they did win the game.
Well, that doesn't mean that much. I mean, it does, but it's Manchester United, Jeff. The manager's deluded. The players have no backbone. They have no spine. When Harry Maguire comes on at the end and praises their character. What? Character? Look at Anthony. He should be kicked out of the club. £82 million. I've got to be honest. I've watched my club since 1976 and I wanted us to lose yesterday. I looked at those Coventry fans. I looked at their players playing their heart out. I looked at the poor guy getting his goal disallowed for a toenail over the line. And Anthony's running around cupping his ears. It's, first of all, I mean, on the lighter side, Ten Hag should have been sacked for wearing that cardigan. Ali, phone up Graham and ask him what he thinks about the cardigan.
Really? Jonathan, got to move on. Thanks very much indeed. Nikki's a United fan. Morning, Nikki.
Morning.
What do you got to say?
I was absolutely appalled yesterday. Supported Man United 50-odd years now, and taking Garnacho and taking Manu off, biggest mistake he's ever made. I've just got an feeling, a big undercurrent, that Garnacho spoke out against him like Ronaldo and Sancho, and my fear is that he's now trying to push Garnacho away like he has done the other two. It was appalling yesterday. I live in Birmingham, and honestly, walking around in my Man United top of that yesterday, I thought, no, Coventry deserved that, and they should have gone through.
Nikki, thank you very much indeed. Got to press on. We've got so many calls. Joining us next for his thoughts, talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Crookie, what's going on, mate? I mean, you've got through to the final. What's going on?
Good morning. Do you know what? I have to say that last 20 minutes of normal time, the half an hour extra time, the penalty shootout is probably the most horrendous football watching experience that I've had. Honestly, I was furious. I took the kids up to Wembley yesterday, and I think I'd have left at the end of 90 minutes. It's only my daughter who was saying, "Come on, Dad, you've got to show a bit of positivity here." I was raging with those players. I was raging with the manager for the changes that he made. Those callers are absolutely spot on. There was no need to take off Garnacho or Mainu. Anthony is absolutely hopeless. Why he keeps getting on the pitch is a mystery to me. But the way those players wilted, as soon as the first goal went in, I've never seen a professional football team capitulate and the heads drop and the body language turned so poor. And it was obvious what was going to happen. You just knew that Coventry were going to get back level. And when the goal went in right at the end of extra time, do you know what? You couldn't begrudge them, and it was ruled out with the tightest of offsides. It was difficult to celebrate even the drama of a penalty shootout win. And then just to compound it all, Anthony's embarrassed himself by cupping his ear to the Coventry players. Get back in the dressing room, realise you're a very lucky boy to be a Manchester United player, let alone to be in an FA Cup final. That was a disgrace. That last hour of that game was horrendous.
I mean, it sounds a ridiculous. Sorry, Ali. It sounds a ridiculous thing to suggest, to be brutally honest, doesn't it? But has the manager's position been weakened by a win in the semi-final?
Massively. Again, I turned to people sat around me and I said, I don't see how he survives this. Whatever the outcome at 3-3, obviously they've still found a way to get through. I don't agree with Harry McCoist. That was anything down to character. It was more down to luck than judgment. But the fact he lost control of that game with the changes that he made, he had no ability to impact it from the sidelines. I think if you're Sir Jim Ratcliffe watching in the stands and your mind wasn't made up, I think it just might be now. I don't see how a manager survives it, to be honest, because it was, as Roy Keane said on TV, it was so unprofessional.
Crookie, I was at the last final last year, and it certainly didn't go United's way. And we know anything can happen, particularly in a cup final or a cup game. But I mean, what I'm going to say is unbelievable. It would be one of the biggest shocks in a cup final if Manchester United win it, would it not?
I think we know where the final's going. You know, I Coventry fans messaging me yesterday, and it was sort of through gritted teeth and good luck in the final. United will get battered. And it's difficult to make any kind of counter argument, isn't it? Do you know Coventry was shorter odds going into the weekend to beat United than Chelsea were to beat Man City on Saturday in an all-Premier League tie? If that doesn't tell you how far United have fallen this season, nothing will.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.